you see, for many of us, we would never have heard about Egypt or Ethiopia, proper names being Kemet and Cush. We'd never know anything about it if it hadn't been for what? The Bible. That was the first introduction that we had to it. The motion pictures that you saw Carlton Heston and everybody in opened the door to it. So therefore, the book can be, because there are some folk who go to another extreme. There are some folks that think the Bible is the answer to everything, and that's all you need. And there's other people that go to another extreme that say, well, we don't need it at all. Let's just throw it in the trash. Now, obviously, that's not the thing to do, because Nat Turner found a way to use it, Harriet Tubman found a way to use it, and we have Dr. King found a way to use it, Brother Malcolm found a way to use it, Elijah Muhammad. We have found ways of using it, and we should use it because it's originally our book, and you don't take something that somebody has taken from you and messed up and throw it away. If somebody take your house away from you and rearrange it, when you get your house back, if it's a sturdy house, what you going to do? You going to throw the house away or burn it down, or what are you going to do? You're going to put it back like it should be, because it was what? It was yours in the first place. So that's how it is when we're dealing with the Bible. Now, let's go into lesson 1, the African origin of the Bible. And we're going to be taking breaks along the way, and we're going to have time for question and answers. Are you ready? Let me make sure I'm ready. I don't need this microphone, do I? No, okay. I'm sure everyone in here can hear me. The first document, document 1. The question is asked, who wrote the Bible? That's the question we want to get to deal with, first of all. Okay, let me get one other thing here to make sure I'm completely ready, so once we get started, I don't have to stop. All right. The first document is taken from 100 Amazing Black Facts About the Negro. That was the term used back in the 1920s. Page 9, number 49, by the prolific scholar, historian, and writer, Joel A. Rogers. And this is what the document says. The Bible really originated in ancient where? Egypt. We're going to break it down. We're going to read it first and then we'll break it down. Where the population, according to Herodotus and Aristotle, was. Here, the Jews received almost all of their early culture. Professor Breasted, leading Egyptologist, says the right social and moral development of mankind in the Nile Valley, which is 3,000 years what? Than that of the Hebrews, contributed essentially to the formation of Hebrew literature. Our moral heritage, therefore, derives from a wider human path, enormously older than the Hebrew, and has come to us rather through the Hebrews than from them. Now, those are some key words in there we want to deal with. Some key words we want to deal with. First of all, we're told that where the Bible originated was in Egypt. The proper term for, first of all, I want to find out something for you. Where is Egypt? Okay, you sure about that? You sure it's not in the Middle East? Or Hollywood or someplace? Asia, in Asia somewhere. No, you can see very clearly, there it is. That's the African continent. It looks like it to me. Of course, you know the proper name for it is Akebu land, the oldest name. The African continent, that's where it is. It's not in the Middle East. Huh? Akebu land. That is the oldest name known so far that we have been able, and we owe that to Dr. Ben, who, by the way, we're dedicating this session to today, and of course to the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, born August the 17th, one of the greatest teachers, one of the greatest leaders and motivators of men the world has ever known. Akebu land is the proper name for what is misnomed Africa. Africa is a Latin term that was given by the Romans there, and we use it merely out of convenience on occasion. But Akebu land, land of the blacks, is what it means, is the proper term. Now, therefore, let's deal with the right term for Egypt as well. Dr. Ben tells us, Dr. Williams, Dr. Ben tells us in, see, I won't be able to read all these to you, but I can tell you where to find them. In Black Man of the Nile and His Family, page 3, Dr. Yusuf Benjo-Channon, and Dr. Williams, page 68 of The Destruction of Black Civilization. They go into detail on this. The proper word for Egypt is Kemet. Kemet. Now, you can spell it several ways. I usually use the short form, Kemet. Dr. Williams goes into detail to show that it comes from Kemi, but we didn't use C's, we used K's. But when the Greeks began to translate our language, they didn't have the K sound, so they had to use what came easy to them, which was the C and the CH. But look at this word Kemet, or Kemi, and what do you see? What do you see? The root for chemistry. Chemistry. Therefore, no black student should ever have a problem with the subject of chemistry. Why not? Because when the very word itself is descriptive of his ancient homeland, the place in his ancient homeland. Chemistry, the land that produced him, the black soil that produced you. The soil that we came from, the soil that nourished us, was called Kemet, from which we get the word chemistry, for the study of chemistry. The study of the soil and things that came from the soil began back perhaps 18,000 years ago in Akebu land, what they call Africa, there in the Nile Valley. Chemistry. Just that one word has a lot of power in it. That one word reveals something to black people about themselves that opens up a whole door to us. That one word, chemistry. So from now on in this class, we will no longer use the term Egypt, which is from the Greek hikupata, H-I-kupa, hikupata, city of Ta. We will never, of the god Ta, which represented uranium back there. All those gods and goddesses of the ancient times were actually scientific symbols. White man didn't know what he was looking at, so they say they worship all these gods and all these. They represented forces of nature. I cover them very carefully in this book, African Genesis. Very carefully, I explain what those gods and goddesses are. That's what they were. It was a complex science, which white folk could not understand when they first encountered it. So all they could do, or all the so-called Egyptologists could do, was say, well, they just got all these gods and goddesses. But even Budge says that they only had one God, one divine creator. And God is not a good term because it is the word, what? Dog spelled backwards. You can see it very carefully. Because one of the first symbols that the European used to represent the force of power of the great deity of the universe on earth was that of a dog. But that's another story. If you want me to deal with that some more, we'll deal with it during question and answer. If you want to do that, just write that down. We'll deal with it. I don't want to get off up into that now and get off the subject. What we usually say is the creator or the divine intelligence. The divine intelligence means that throughout the whole universe, in every leaf on the tree, every blade of grass, every atom, there is intelligence. And that divine intelligence, all collectively, is what is known as and misnomered God. It's not something you can put your hands on, or something in one place. You look up here and you look out there. Or the thing I think that is most arrogant is that everybody claims that you can only find this divine intelligence, which keeps the whole planet together, which is in every grain of sand, which is everywhere all over earth. You can only find it in their church, in their synagogue, in their temple. Now that's the arrogance. But even worse, they have taken it and put it between the pages of a book, between the covers of a book, and you can only find it in there. All this power which cannot be understood. For 1,000 lifetimes, people have it now crushed in between the covers of a book, and you have to come